Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I mean, seriously, it does not work without you guys. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up, my football gods. Wake up, guys. Wake up. All right, everyone, you know my new motto. Hashtag keep your ass at home. Keep it at home. Keep it at home. Right now, please go out only for what you absolutely positively have to, and understand there's a lot of stuff we really don't need to have. Okay? You know, what we're asked to do is just stay home. Just stay home. Give this thing some time. Keep the medical staff and things from having to go balls to the wall. We right now, I believe, are third in the world with cases and steady rising. China has leveled off. They're easing restrictions there because they kept their ass at home. We are still lollygagging here and waiting to close down this place and that place, and people are having coronavirus parties and stuff and getting contaminated. When Prince Charles gets it, when one of the Timberwolves' mother is in a coma because of coronavirus, this shit is real. And if you want to know, all you young people that say, oh, old people are expendable, they should go to work and things, or I'm not worried about it, ask Mike Fisher what it's like to lose a mother. Last month, not from coronavirus, but he lost his mother last month. Ask him how it was watching her die. And oh, by the way this thing is, understand, if you lose a loved one, there ain't gonna be no funeral that you can go to. You won't be able to say your goodbyes. You won't be able to go see them. That's why you need to keep your ass at home. All they are asking you to do is keep your ass at home. Now, the government's done passed, a bill that's going to help. Most Americans going to be getting at least a little bit of money to help you get by. But we're not being asked to do much. Understand World War II, and this is like what we're fighting right now, World War II. Sacrificing for the common good, rationing in World War II. Americans used their rationing cards and stamps to take meager shares of household staples, including meats, dairy, coffee, dry fruits, jams, jellies, lard, shortening, and oils. Americans learned, as they did during the Great Depression, to do without. That means you're not going out there trying to buy up every roll of toilet tissue so you can sell it on eBay and make a profit. Get what you need to make it for yourself and your family, and leave some for others. During World War II, there was no internet. There was no TV. There was basically radio that you listened to that was staticky. There was no PlayStation. There was no internet. There was no web searching. There was no YouTube. No Facebook. They sacrificed and gave to fight the cause. All you are being asked to do is keep your ass at home. That's it. That's it. Do this so we can get this thing stamped out so nobody else has to die an agonizing death from it. And that's all I got to say on that, except for keep your ass at home. Seriously. You can stay home. Believe me, you can watch YouTube. You can watch me here being a fool. Each day I'm trying to do a video of what I'm doing hunkering down. I'll be working in the workshop later today. I'm still working on trying to figure out how to lay out this. We do a live stream pretty much now a day. Any news on the Cowboys and stuff, we talk about that. We talk about theories and things and all that. Maybe we'll start doing some game film. We'll do stuff to occupy your mind. The sacrifice you're being asked to make is not a big one. So anyway, on to football talk. So first things first, We know Travis Fredrick, of course, is retired, which kind of puts us in a bind. Okay? Now, I believe Joe Looney will be okay at center. But we also have to take in consideration that we have Connor Williams, who had ACL surgery 13 weeks ago. He's beginning to work out and exercise and stuff, and his goal is to be ready by week 1. Now, the thing you don't know is how is that being carteled as far as rehab these days, because facilities aren't open. Facilities aren't open. You can't just go ahead and go to the gym and work out or have your physical therapist. It means that hopefully a lot of these guys have gyms and facilities at their home, that they have reinvested in their craft by that money they're being paid, by having a place to work out in their home. Some players will have it, some players that won't. And the ones that don't, you got to look and say they may not be ready when season comes around. And that's the reality of this. Most of these guys would go to the team facilities to work out. Most of the Dallas Cowboy players are in the Dallas area and would go to the Star to work out. That's not available right now. The gyms aren't available. So this is going to be interesting to see how guys make it. Now, back in my day, the Neanderthal days, you could still go outside and go running. We would run hills, okay? We put on a weight vest, actually at JMU, and JMU's got lots of hills. And any of you guys know where the hospital is, and up there on top of the hill, there was Wine Price Hall, which we called the Virgin Vault because it only had 2 days of visitation. That hill, it goes up steadily, and then it's kind of like real sharp at the end. We used to put on 40-pound weight vests and run that for track. Guys are going to have to start getting innovative on how they're working out. So hopefully Connor Williams can get that knee back in shape. This is going to be a problem throughout the NFL on how guys are going to be able to get in shape and rehab injuries. And if you haven't had, here's the other problem. If you have a lingering injury that needs surgery on it, more than likely you're not going to be able to get it at this point, because the hospitals are basically saying unless it's a necessity, life-saving, it's not getting done. So you may see a lot of players that aren't ready to go come this season. Hence, it's better to have younger players than older ones that haven't been injured. So there's that, of course, on there. So hopefully he is going to be okay by the time the season gets here. The draft, the NFL will be doing the draft remotely. This may be Roger Goodell's first opportunity not to get booed when he goes onto the stage, because it'll all be done basically by the internet. It's canceled in Vegas. The lights have gone down in Vegas. The strip, empty. And so it'll be televised and probably will be one of the highest rated shows since the Super Bowl, because there's really nothing else going on. Thank God we had free agent frenzy last week to really keep us going. Things are going to kind of slow down here because there's not much else, not many big names that are out there. Cam Newton got released yesterday and hardly made a hiccup. So the big thing that's left for the Dallas Cowboys, that currently have about $24 million in cap room, is will Dak Prescott hold out if he is forced to play on the franchise tag, or will the Cowboys and him come to an agreement? Colin Cowherd has gone to the usual can't miss topic. When there's nothing else to talk about, throw Dak Prescott under the bus. So let's listen to the Cowherd and his rationale about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
Fredrick is an all-world NFL player. He retired at 29 years old. Now, I think that's great for football, that he had a great career, doesn't have to sign a third contract, leaves. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, made a bunch of money. I'll get into that later. What does it mean for Dak? First of all, this guy's great. He's the best center in football. The last 2 years, the Cowboys' rankings with Travis Fredrick, yards per play, number 1. When he's gone, 22nd. Sacks, second fewest allowed in the NFL. When he's gone, second most allowed. He is a rock star. And Dallas's O-line, we've said this for the last year, it's not a revelation, is getting old. Tyron Smith entered the league at 20. He's an old 29. Zach Martin is excellent. He's an older 29. It's starting to deteriorate. This is the first sign for a great guy who retired at the perfect time. This is what I've been saying about Dak Prescott. Teams in leagues with salary caps get bad fast when they sign good players, Dak Prescott, to great contracts. Joe Flacco, Ravens, great organization, great roster, signed a good player, Joe Flacco, to a great contract. They weren't the same for 3 years. Brandon Cooks with the Rams. They'd get rid of him tomorrow. Good player. Great contract for his skill set. You can't do it in salary cap leagues. You can get away with it if you're the Yankees. Maybe the Dodgers. Maybe the Red Sox. Can't get away with it in hockey, basketball, and the NFL. Okay, we have never. This is a prime example. That's why Russell Wilson gets the money. Because I've seen Russell Wilson carry bad O-lines from mostly year one in the NFL. I've seen him carry average receivers. I saw him last year carry the Seahawks when the running backs all got hurt. That's why when there was a question about Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll and John Snyder signed him in an hour. I've never seen Dak Prescott. Anytime an O-lineman gets hurt, anytime Zeke is suspended, pre-Amari Cooper, I've never seen him carry the team. Last year, Patrick Mahomes led the Chiefs in the playoffs in rushing the last 2 games. Forget his passing. He led them in rushing. I have seen Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers carry bad defenses. Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Deshaun Watson with a lousy running game and a terrible offensive line. Carson Wentz last year. Deck chairs and lawn furniture got Philadelphia to the playoffs.
Okay, all right. You know what? That's enough of the cow turd. But let me go through on this a couple things. The Joe one, you know, they signed him to a big contract, and we understood that. But the defense and Ray Lewis retiring didn't have anything to do with that because, see, they had a great defense that got old, and you don't just replace a Ray Lewis. I do believe. Now, again, Joe Flacco benefited from having a great defense and, you know, a great young team, and they got old. But I don't know that Joe Flacco was the complete reason why. You know, you have, when you build a team, you have a window that's only so big where you have, you know, people that are there long enough that they learn the system that you want to have, but haven't been there too long that they haven't started to slow down and get nagging injuries or miss time. And that's where the Ravens had that window there with Joe Flacco and, you know, of course, Ray Lewis and that great defense, you know, that was just right there. Now they died down, then they ended up getting Lamar Jackson, and they've kind of rebuilt that roster. As far as talking about the Cowboys versus, you know, with and without Travis Fredrick, believe me, it was a difference of Travis Fredrick. But you got to also look at, it wasn't just Travis Fredrick that was missed, because you had Joe Looney, who started all season because Travis Fredrick in 2018 was gone the whole season. So you had Joe Looney, a brand new center starting, who had never been a starter before. You had Connor Williams starting his second season, who got hurt. Connor Williams got hurt. You also had Zach Martin, who hurt his knee in training camp and could not finish training camp. And I remember him at the Redskin game in Washington going to the locker room early because of that knee, in which case against the Eagles, he went out in the first quarter and missed time. So then when Connor Williams got hurt, you had Xavier Salafalo play on the offensive line. Played great the first game, literally left an eye on the field, kind of like if you've seen Any Given Sunday. Got poked in the eye where he literally could not see. So, from then, when Zach Martin went out against the Philadelphia Eagles, you had Connor Williams coming back from injury to take over for Zach Martin. And of course, you had Tyron Smith, who usually misses about 3 games a year, in which case you had Cam Fleming play. So in the course of that whole season, you had 2 guys that started every game on that offensive line. Joe Looney, who started every game, and La'el Collins. And La'el Collins of 2018 was a far cry from the La'el Collins of 2019. So he's Cowherd is kind of telling you half truth there as far as the offensive line. That offensive line was changing on a weekly basis. And yes, the Cowboys had 56 sacks that year. And it wasn't all over the center. Some of those, Dak Prescott. I think 12 or 13 of those were Dak Prescott holding on to the ball too long. That was on Dak. The other 43 was the whole offensive line. It wasn't just the center point. Russell Wilson. He said, you give Russell Wilson that money because he carries the team. And the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Okay. But if your argument is those guys got paid because they carry the team, and Russell Wilson has to carry the team a lot more than when they won Super Bowls. When they won Super Bowls, they had the #1 defense for 3 years. Russell Wilson wasn't asked to throw 4,000 yards and 36 TDs. So true, he's helping to carry that team, but he's not carrying them very far. We get to the playoffs, and we beat them in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers hasn't done that much as far as in the playoffs recently. Yeah, they made it this year. They got a game in there. They're not in the Super Bowl anymore. But look at the 2 years before that, since they beat us in 2016. So this whole argument of, Dak's not a guy that can carry the team. Somehow, some way, we have the second most victories over the course of the last 3 seasons. He didn't have anything to do with any of that? Is that what we're led to believe? I guess those 97 touchdown passes in 4 years and those 21 rushing touchdowns, they don't count. But anyway, you got to have something to talk about. All right, guys, I am going to drink some more coffee, upload this video. I do need to go out today. I am actually dropping off some food, not going in anybody's house, not knocking on any doors. Me and Michael are going to go for a ride, and we're going to be leaving the food on the front porch of some people who definitely could use a good meal. Please, keep your ass at home, everybody. Stay home, stay safe. Do that as a sacrifice. You got plenty of stuff that you can do to occupy yourself. And I guarantee you, if you look in your cabinets, look in your pantry, look behind that box of cereal, you will find stuff. Maybe it's not that gourmet meal that you want to have. It might not be that, fast food and stuff like that. But what we have, even if you think that your house is empty, is probably 10 times more than the average person in the world has right now on a good day. We can do this. We can do this. Keep your ass at home. I'll talk to you guys soon.